The following message contains a special offer for listeners of this station. Are you a man over 40? Are you constantly looking for the nearest bathroom? Do you wake up multiple times a night to use the bathroom? Right now, Perfect Prostate is sending out free bottles of their groundbreaking new formula to listeners of this station. Perfect Prostate formula was developed by medical doctor Mitchell Fleischer, and its ingredients have been clinically studied to reduce your frequent nighttime bathroom visits and promote healthy urine flow. Right now, preferred customers get their first bottle of Perfect Prostate absolutely free. There's nothing to lose. Perfect Prostate is guaranteed to reduce that constant urge to use the bathroom, especially at night, and promote healthy urine flow. Don't wait. Call now for your free bottle. Just pay shipping and processing. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251. Supplies are limited. One free bottle per household. Call now. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend the American way of life. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey folks, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Dr. Richard Harden. We are on the same mission, which is waking up America. We just have different paths. So stay tuned for some information on how you can keep up with Richard and all his work.
Visit Richard's website at raharden.com. That's the World Wide Web at RAHARDIN.com. At his website, you can see a summary of the 6 books he has written, where purchases may be made. He also has a link to 18 videos on YouTube and several blogs about Christian beliefs. If you prefer, visit Amazon.com/Kindle and type in Richard Harden to see and purchase his books.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Having a place to go after school will make you a better student. Having an outlet to express yourself will make you a better artist. Having something to do together will make you a better family. At the Y, we're helping build better friends, listeners, writers, swimmers, scientists, and musicians, one chance at a time. Give the gift of opportunity. Support the Y at ymca.net. The Y, for a better us.
This is Rio of Madison Rising, and you're listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
The mainstream media is really the make-believe media. First, they make up the news, and then they make you believe it.
Hi, this is Susan Swift.
I'm highly successful, have been all my life. I have enjoyed successful careers in film, television, and law.
I'm Dan Wright, a father, a gun owner, a dog owner, and a Federalist.
I'm Susan Swift, and you are listening to Constitution and Culture on KLRN Radio.
Where liberty and reason still reign.
Hey, we're back! It's Susan Swift and Dan Wright, and this is Constitution and Culture on KLRN Radio. And we are having so much fun. fun because we are listening to the farewell of Obama, his swan song, shall we say, and we're going to watch the media scandal-proof the incoming President Trump. After they're done, no one's ever going to believe this crazy media ever again. They're actually doing a very serious disservice to all of us, but in the meantime, for the next 9 days, we're partying because this is the end. It is the end of the Obama regime, and we couldn't be happier. How do you feel, Dan?
I feel okay now. I watched the entire farewell speech last night.
Oh my gosh, you poor man. Oh,
after the speech was done, I drowned it in beer and country music, so I'm okay now.
How many beers did that take to wash that away? That memory. I mean, that's got a lot of beer, man. It
was six IPAs.
Ooh, that's cheap stuff. That's good.
No, IPAs. India Pale Ales. No shots.
Aww.
I stayed away from the shots, but I was drinking about 8% beer, so.
Ooh, that's the good stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
I really like a dark beer from Germany, the Dunkelbier, German Dunkelbier. Yeah. They brew it a special time of year for the Oktoberfest, and it just tastes so much better. I'm not much of a beer fan unless it's the dark beer, so yay. Good for you. But it took you 6, huh? That's like that's a lot.
I like the IPAs. They're nice and strong and nice and hoppy, and I find that the hops seem to take away the hangover in the morning. So I didn't want to have to say I had an Obama hangover. I'd like to say, okay, I'm a little tired because I drank a few beers last night.
Oh no, you had an Obama beer brainwash is what you had to do. You did brainwashing. That's what it was. A beer brainwashing.
That speech. I mean, you and I, we talked before we went on the air. However many minutes his speech was about as many times as I wanted to throw something through the TV.
I hear you.
Sickening. It was sickening watching that speech.
I read reports about it. He referred to himself, me, myself, and I, himself, 75 times. And it was like 51 to 55 minutes. It was the shortest speech he'd ever given. But 75 times. I mean, what? Couldn't he have talked about anything else? I mean, well, geez. I also heard that Stephanopoulos, I call him Step on all of us, Stephanopoulos had referred to Obama's speeches as a song of peace. I mean, they were singing his praises over at the liberal media, just how wonderful and how eloquent the man was. Maybe we should take a listen to just a little piece of President Obama saying farewell. Let's see if we've got that.
May seem, that's part of defending America. For the fight against extremism and intolerance and sectarianism and chauvinism are of a piece. Authoritarianism. Aggression. If the scope of freedom and respect for the rule of law shrinks around the world, the likelihood of war within and between nations increases.
Oh yeah, we can sing along to that. That's all I heard whenever he was talking and going on with the, and I think everything's going to be wonderful, and you guys are all going to miss me, and as all I heard was na 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 na, hey hey hey, goodbye. I love it. I am so glad he's out here. Another song that always occurred to me when I was listening to any clips of this guy was bye 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 Barack, Bye, 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 Barack, bye, bye, Barack. We'll see ya, Barack. Oh man, I could just go on and on. I am so glad this man is exiting. Well, he's not. He's moving over to Washington D.C. to, rally his Democrat troops, and he'll live in D.C. and continue to be the figurehead for the Democrat Party. But I'm just so glad that we've waited 8 years for this wonderful moment for him to blather on as we say bye bye. Oh, and the best part of it, the best part was right as he was blathering on. That was about the time that CNN started leaking the 35-page secret dossier that the CIA and the FBI had been presenting to President Obama and President-elect Trump, because we were investigating these allegations that Trump has had some very kinky, weird relations and done very nasty, weird things in hotel rooms. And is this true, right? So they kind of allude to that, which then cracks the door for BuzzFeed, which is, I think somebody on Twitter, somebody called them Bottom Feed. That's their new name, I guess. Anyway,
I did see that.
Yes. So, and I'm sorry, I can't remember who had tweeted that, but that was very clever. So anyway, so BuzzFeed is, of course, they just needed the nod and the wink from CNN, and they went ahead and released this secret, memorandums. It had been leaked. And of course, today, what were we all talking about? All day long it was, did Trump have a golden shower moment in a hotel room with prostitutes? Dun, dun, dun! And that's the fake news story that CNN opened up, and then BuzzFeed, fed into it. It was just sick and silly, and there's no truth to it. And that story had been circulated all summer, and no one credible had ever reported on it because there's nothing to back it up. And so miraculously, where's Obama? No one's listening to Obama's farewell speech. He's just so gone. He's just poof. Nobody's listening to his speech, and nobody's talking about it this morning because here comes CNN and BuzzFeed trying to. And here's the bizarre thing: do they really think that now, after the election, after the recount, this Jill Stein fake recount of votes, after the attempt by Democrats in the Congress to somehow at the last minute not count the electoral ballots, and that's when Vice President Biden was so
it is over
a good guy and said it's over. Let's hear him.
It is over.
That clip. It is over. I love that. Let's hear it one more time because it sounds
so good. It is over.
So,
what I want to it's.
But after all of that,
what bothers me about this whole thing is now we sit here and everybody spends the entire day going back and forth. I mean, at least if you look at social media, it's going back and forth. You got the one side saying, "Oh my God, Trump's just disgusting," blah blah blah. The other side saying, "No, it's crap," and nobody, There's Obama gives this nice, wonderful speech last night and slinks out the door so he can go make sure that he clears out Guantanamo Bay. And all that's going on, but nobody's paying attention to it.
No, nobody cares. Nobody cares about Obama, which is it. And see, that's the one thing that his massive ego needs. He needs fawning media adulation, and nobody's listening to him. He's not going to clear out Obama. He's not going to be able to do anything. Look, he's got 9 days, and in 9 days, Trump is going to take the reins, and he can undo anything that Obama does with executive orders, save for pardons. That's about it. But so nobody's listening to him, and that's what he can't stand. You got to remember, the opposite of love is not hate. The opposite of love is being ignored. And that's what Obama can't handle. And I just think it's hysterical that here's the media trying desperately. And getting back to my point was, do they really think that, oh yeah, this story about Trump in a hotel room, that he's in league with the Russians, and then they were doing something on the bed that was really bad. You think that's going to prompt everyone who just voted for him and the entire Senate and the House to immediately, impeach the guy before he's even inaugurated? You think that's it? They're losing their minds. The media has officially lost their mind because they cannot figure out a way to contain or control or mold Trump. He was that is one advantage throughout the entire campaign. And the one thing that I really respect from him, I'm waiting to see if he actually does a lot of the things that he says he's going to do, and I'm withholding my judgment on that part of it. But the one thing I've always liked about Trump is that he knows how to punch the media in the mouth every day. And he did it again. He just walked up to that microphone. You know what? Hey, instead of me talking about it, let's hear it. Let's hear where during the Trump's first official presser today, where he basically confronted CNN and the media. Can we play that little bit, please?
I think it's a disgrace that information that was false and fake and never happened got released to the public. As far as BuzzFeed, which is a failing pile of garbage, writing it, I think they're going to suffer the consequences. They already are. And as far as CNN going out of their way to build it up, it was just reported that it wasn't this Michael Cohen they were talking about. So all night long, it's Michael Cohen. I said, I want to see your passport. He brings his passport to my office. I say, hey, wait a minute. He didn't leave the country. He wasn't out of the country. They had Michael Cohen of the Trump Organization was in Prague. It turned out to be a different Michael Cohen. It's a disgrace what took place. It's a disgrace. And I think they ought to apologize to start with. Your organization's terrible. Your organization's terrible. Let's go. Go ahead. Quiet. Quiet. Go ahead. She's asking a question. Don't be rude. Don't be rude. Don't be rude. No, I'm not going to give you a question. I'm not going to give you a question. You are fake news.
I'm not going to give you a question. You are fake news.
Yeah, and I mean, and I'm not, I'm still like you. I'm waiting to see how things go. But he handled that. I mean, the whole, it's this guy, but not this guy. It's just the same name. Where the media doesn't investigate anything anymore. They hop on it. Everybody in the media now has to be the breaking news guy or the breaking news girl. There's also
the breaking news transgender. Excuse me very much, Dan Wright, but there is the breaking news transgender. I'm sorry,
right?
But,
yes,
there's
you're
the
correct.
There are the it's among us, and it's not. We are not binary. Excuse me. Just saying. I'm sorry.
I had a friend who lives in San Francisco today send me a picture of a beautiful rainbow over San Francisco, and it just cracked me up. And I know exactly why they sent it.
Of course. But you know what they don't realize? That's God's promise that he's not going to flood and wash away the entire city. That's what it really is. You know what? I still love you guys. You're a mess, but I'm not going to drown you all. That's what it is.
But I wanted to backtrack here for a second because something that just came to my mind, that it's the thing that maybe started me drinking last night. Something man. Obama said that I will paraphrase because I don't remember the exact wording, but he said,
"You had too many beers."
we must continue. We must continue to push forward with what our founding fathers wanted for this country. Let that sink in for a minute when you think about the last 8 years.
Yeah.
We must continue to move forward with what our founding fathers wanted for this country.
Yeah, well, that's exactly opposite to what Barack Obama and the left and the Democrat Party want. They want to undo what the founding fathers did. They want to undo the Constitution because the Constitution limits government. It restricts government's ability to do these things, and that's their problem. They want all powerful kind of one world government, and they want to make sure that people are subject to government rules. So it's exact opposite. But you know what? It doesn't. Look, Obama says whatever sounds good because he's all about optics, and he's the original empty suit. He's the empty chairman. Remember back in his the second time he was running, and Clint Eastwood did the empty chair routine, which was brilliant. That's what Obama is. He will say anything, and that's what Democrats do. What they do is they blame Republicans or conservatives for exactly what the Democrats are doing. They call us racist when they, in fact, are the racists. They're the ones that had, segregated schools in the South. They're the ones who would not let blacks own guns. They're the ones who had the poll tax. I mean, it's just they just reflect their own evils on others and then point and blame. It's just really sick. But well, anyway, let's hear a little bit more of Obama just to get that one flavor of why beer is so effective and why it's so important in our lives when we're listening to this guy. Come on, one more last farewell to Obama blather. Let's hear it.
For white Americans, it means acknowledging that the effects of slavery and Jim Crow didn't suddenly vanish in the 60s. When minority groups voice discontent, they're not just engaging in reverse racism or practicing political correctness. When they wage peaceful protest, they're not demanding special treatment, but the equal treatment that our founders promised.
This is,
for native-born Americans. For native-born Americans, it means reminding ourselves that the stereotypes about immigrants today were said almost word for word about the Irish and Italians and Poles, who it was said were destroyed the fundamental character of America.
But you know what? Hang on, enough of this guy. Enough of this.
Wasn't weakened.
The Joker in Chief. Enough of this Joker in Chief. You know what? Remember what was his big selling point? What was his big selling point? You remember? He was going to bring the white and black together, and he was going to end racial division. We were going to have racial harmony because of Barack Obama. And it's worse now than it was 8 years ago. And here he is at his farewell speech, basically blaming Americans for increased racial disunity and sad state of affairs, when it's because precisely of his administration, his selective enforcement of laws, and the DOJ. It's because of him that we have these Black Lives Matter who are rioting in our streets and trying to attack the rule of law, which are police officers. And so, you know what? I think of another song, which is, hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more. What'd I say? Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more. That's what I want to tell President Obama. Just get out and don't let the door hit you in your liberal ideology on the way out. I mean, I'm so done with this man.
Well,
I can't wait 9 more days.
He said, the same thing happened to the Irish. Wait a minute. My ancestors didn't come here with terrorism in their minds and with wanting to invoke Sharia law everywhere they go. There's a difference. My ancestors wanted to come here to work. They wanted to find work. There was no work in Ireland. They wanted to come here to find a better.
The Irish
they wanted to find a better way to live
for their religion as well. And they did. They wanted to come and work, and they wanted to assimilate. They didn't mind assimilating. They wanted to bring some of their culture, but they didn't want to bring their government, which was, basically British rule. They didn't want to bring that. And that's why we welcome any immigrants who want to come here legally and assimilate and adopt our country's laws, because that, when you get down to what is the American success story, it is our system of government, our representative democracy, our founding fathers who created a system whereby we, the people, bestow power to the government and not the other way around. And that's why everyone in the world wants to come here, because it gives you a fair chance under our laws. And they do want to assimilate, and they do want to be, kind of bring your food and your fun culture and assimilate and make it into one big melting pot. The problem is what we're taught in college. Did you know this? That they teach this in college right now, at UC San Diego. My niece goes down there. You know what she was taught? That we are not a great melting pot. We are more like a salad. That's what they're taught. They're taught in UC system, the state California university system is teaching people that no, we are not really to assimilate and to be one big melting pot. No, America is not a melting pot. We are in fact a salad. You're a crouton, and I'm a green lettuce, and you're a cucumber. And aren't you the cutest little pepper we ever saw? We're all distinct. We just mix together, but we don't harmonize. And that is absolutely wrong. And what that's going to do is, of course, balkanize, everyone, and we won't be Americans anymore. There won't be one culture. There will be disparate separatism. And it is almost returning to separate but equal. That's what these liberals are trying to do. They're trying to undo the whole notion of America, which is, yes, send me your tired, you're poor, you're weary, everyone who's yearning to be free. Freedom from government tyranny. That's what attracted the Irish, anyone else over here. And that's why when the slaves were brought here, we fought a war to free them, because we believe it is wrong to own people. Slavery is owning people, and that's wrong. And over 600,000 Americans died to prove the point. And so would you just stop with the racial division? We've bled and died for that. We've marched for that. So did Martin Luther King and many other people of all colors, to make sure that the goals that are established in our Constitution are upheld and enforced across all the states of this great country. So Barack Obama needs to leave, and I wish he'd just go home to Hawaii or wherever he wants to call home, but he's not. And you know what? We're just going to have to point and laugh at him. So I think we all just have to keep singing, na, 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 hey, 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 goodbye. Because he's done. He's all done. And I'm so glad that Trump just basically blew him out of the water today with, his press conference and calling CNN fake news. Hey, and we've got a break coming up, and after the break, then we can get into all of the fun that happened with Jeff Sessions, because he's being grilled by, liberal Democrat Senator Durbin, and it's so brilliant because Sessions just turns it around on him. So we're going to have a break, then we're going to come back and talk about Jeff Sessions and all of the stuff that's going on at the at Capitol Hill there, and trying to all the confirmation that's going on. So we'll be back at you in a minute.
The following message contains a special offer for listeners of this station. Are you a man over 40? Are you constantly looking for the nearest bathroom? Do you wake up multiple times a night to use the bathroom? Right now, Perfect Prostate is sending out free bottles of their groundbreaking new formula to listeners of this station. Perfect Prostate formula was developed by medical doctor Mitchell Fleischer, and its ingredients have been clinically studied to reduce your frequent nighttime bathroom visits and promote healthy urine flow. Right now, preferred customers get their first bottle of Perfect Prostate absolutely free. There's nothing to lose. Perfect Prostate is guaranteed to reduce that constant urge to use the bathroom, especially at night, and promote healthy urine flow. Don't wait. Call now for your free bottle. Just pay shipping and processing. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251. Supplies are limited. One free bottle per household. Call now. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend the American way of life. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey folks, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Dr. Richard Harden. We are on the same mission, which is waking up America. We just have different paths. So stay tuned for some information on how you can keep up with Richard and all his work.
Visit Richard's website at raharden.com. That's the World Wide Web at RAHARDIN.com. At his website, you can see a summary of the 6 books he has written, where purchases may be made. He also has a link to 18 videos on YouTube and several blogs about Christian beliefs. If you prefer, visit Amazon.com/Kindle and type in Richard Harden to see and purchase his books.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it. There to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Having a place to go after school will make you a better student. Having an outlet to express yourself will make you a better artist. Having something to do together will make you a better family. At the Y, we're helping build better friends, listeners, writers, swimmers, scientists, and musicians, one chance at a time. Give the gift of opportunity. Support the Y at ymca.net. The Y, for a better us.
And we're back. This is Susan Swift and Dan Wright, and this is Constitution and Culture. We forgot to mention before we broke that where you can find us. You can find me at susanswift.net, and I regularly write for politichicks.com and also Conservative Firing Line. And Dan, let them know where they can find you.
They can find me on Twitter at Daniel_KLRN. And you can find me on Facebook at Daniel Wright. It's a private account, but if you friend request me, I'm pretty good about getting back to you when I'm on there. I'm not on there often.
He's nice. Friend him. He's a very nice guy. He'll tell you which beers to drink too. And you can find me on social media at Real Susan Swift. Real Susan Swift. Right before the break, we were talking about we're so done with Obama and hey, goodbye. And now we wanted to talk about Senator Durbin, he's a radical Democrat, and he just goes after Jeff Sessions, he's going through his confirmation process right now. He's been nominated by Trump to serve in the administration, and Senator Durbin, of course, wants to attack him. And it's the funniest thing because in his attack against Jeff Sessions, he admits that Obama has broken the immigration system and then is attacking Sessions, kind of blaming him about it. It's really, really funny. So we'll let you hear the question that Durbin had asked Jeff Sessions and Jeff Sessions' brilliant response.
Senator Sessions, there's not a spot of evidence in your public career to suggest that as Attorney General, you would use the authority of that office to resolve the challenges of our broken immigration system in a fair and humane manner. Tell me I'm wrong.
Well, you are wrong, Senator Durbin. I'm going to follow the laws passed by Congress. As a matter of policy, we disagreed on some of those issues. I do believe that if you continually go through a cycle of amnesty, that you undermine the respect for the law and encourage more illegal immigration into America. I believe the American people spoke clearly in this election. I believe they agreed with my basic view, and I think it's a good view, a decent view, a solid legal view for the United States of America, that we create a lawful system of immigration that allows people to apply to this country, and if they're accepted, they get in. If they're not accepted, they don't get in. And I believe that's right and just, and the American people are right to ask for it.
So, if you see what he did here, Durbin has already said that the immigration system is broken. Well, who broke it? It was Democrats. They changed the rules back in the 60s to widen the gate for all kinds of immigrants, regardless of whether they can earn a living here, and they've changed a lot of things like that. And then on top of that, of course, we've already had amnesty. We've done that. Reagan did that, and that was supposed to be the be all and end all and just fix it so that we could just go forward and assimilate, so that we do become one melting pot of different beautiful cultures, but one law for all men, so that we can trust our laws, and we know that laws will be fairly enforced against everyone. Just like the beautiful statue of Justice. She's blind. She has a blindfold over her, and she's holding scales because she's supposed to not look at your color and not look at your circumstance. It doesn't matter if you're rich or if you're poor, or if you're black or white or Asian or any other color. She's supposed to weigh the facts in her scales and then determine based on the law who has the right to proceed. That's our goal of our judicial system. And so for Jeff Sessions, he's brilliant. He comes back and he says, yeah, we need to have a legal system, and me as Attorney General, I'm going to enforce the laws that you, Congress, make. And that just irritates the heck out of these liberals, because what they really want is they want people in government who are going to be advocates for their view and who will selectively enforce the laws that they want enforced. That's the radical activism that's been present all through the Obama administration. Just recall the IRS and Lois Lerner, how she was harassing conservative Tea Party groups who were applying for, tax-exempt status at 501c3s. She was harassing them and using the law selectively because of their political ideology. That's under Obama.
We've, Rick and I, we've gone through this with a group we're in. That's why I'm off one Wednesday a month. Of trying to figure out how to set up our tax structure so that we don't get messed with, because we have.
Well, in 9 days, it's not going to matter. But
yeah, that's true. But it has caused groups to think like that. Like it's caused groups to go, well, we need to be very cautious about how we do things, because doing them within the law doesn't necessarily mean that we're okay.
Right.
We really had to
federal
sit
government
down.
has-
Well, yeah, we really had to
The
sit
federal-
down and think about it. We had to think about how to set our tax structure up so that we're shielded from that kind of harassment.
Yeah, and look at the hours and hours and hours and reams of paper it takes to go through so that you can you can try to protect yourself against the soft tyranny of government. And you have to go through all of the laws, and you have to hire an accountant, sometimes a lawyer, just so you can avoid the tyranny from the taxation code. And so that you're hoping, and everybody, we're coming up on, tax season now. They just changed laws recently. You've got to send out your some of the tax forms for independent contractors. You got to be in the mail by January 30th. It used to be almost the end of February. So they're making it harder and harder to comply with these laws. These laws are piles and piles thick, and that's what keeps lawyers and accountants happy and employed all year. But for regular Americans, we just have to go through it and say, well, how can I survive? How can I get through this? And that's what Lois Lerner was doing, was harassing, using laws selectively against conservative groups because of their conservative ideology, not because that they had something really suspicious in their background. I mean, yeah, if we've got a terrorist organization who's trying to put together a front group to be a nonprofit, that would be something different. That's not what was happening here. We have enough evidence to prove it. So here's Jeff Sessions answering Durbin, who says, he doesn't believe you're going to enforce immigration laws. Of course he's going to enforce immigration laws. Durbin opposes Jeff Sessions not because of his record in the Senate, not because of the allegations that Jeff Sessions is a racist, which is another whole line of fake news. That's the cover. That's the fig leaf that these senators want to use to oppose Jeff Sessions. If Jeff Sessions were some sort of rabid racist, he's been in the Senate for decades. Don't you think we'd know about it? Oh, you mean like Robert Byrd, the KKK, the former the king high muckety muck of the KKK, Robert Byrd, who served in the Senate for forever. He was part of the KKK. He was a Democrat, and he was one of the leading people in the Senate.
Beloved by the Clintons.
Yes, adored and beloved. He's. I mean, I'm just wondering the hypocrisy and the ridiculousness of this. This is the Democrat Party, who the terrorist arm of the Democrat Party was the KKK, and they went through the South terrorizing black people, putting burning crosses in their yard to keep them, in subservient to their white owners. Basically, that's what the message was coming out. And the KKK was terrorizing blacks. That's why Republicans were advocating that blacks should be able to own guns for their own self-protection against this kind of group. And for Senator Durbin to stand up and pontificate that somehow Jeff Sessions is a racist or anything even approaching that, because Jeff Sessions has done the exact opposite. He has defended conservative blacks in an action to make sure that the black vote was counted fairly back in Alabama years ago. He was the one advocating to make sure that there wasn't fraud happening that would disenfranchise black voters. But they don't care about that, because who are they talking to? They're talking to their little spin cycle and millennials and people. They're just trying to gin up a fake race story. And so Durbin is going after him on immigration and suggesting, well, that he's not going to enforce the laws. Of course he is. He's the Attorney General. That is his job. What we've been subjected to for 8 years is a Department of Justice who doesn't enforce the laws, or who enforces them selectively. And that is why we are facing increased angst over immigration, over all kinds of laws, over the federal government, everything, because everyone's looking around saying, hey, this group is getting a different treatment. Liberal nonprofits are getting a different treatment from the IRS. Conservatives are getting shafted. Certain immigrants are allowed to just walk right in through the door, whether they're obeying the laws or not. And yet other people who have been waiting to be confirmed, to be allowed in and immigrate in, they're being ignored. They have to wait in line 7 years.
Here you go.
Go ahead.
Yesterday, I don't know if you saw it, a certain MTV quote-unquote entertainment news editor sent out a tweet with a picture of Mr. Sessions holding his Asian grandchild. And the tweet said, and I'll paraphrase again, but along the lines of, Senator Sessions, where did you steal that Asian child from Toys R Us? I really think you should return it. Who is the racist? Who is the racist? That and he comes out and he comes out and says, I was just joking. Well, let a conservative say something like that, and let's see if they can get out of it by saying, I was just joking. It's instantly, you're the biggest piece of trash on the face of the earth. That's what it's instantly if it's a conservative. It's...
You know what they're mad about? They're mad that we are starting to learn how to play the game. Jeff Sessions is smart to have a child on his lap, because how can you get really, really furious with anyone holding a little darling little grandchild? You can't. And she happens to be Asian, and that just goes right against the fake news that they want you to believe, which is that Jeff Sessions is a racist. See, that's the fake news. Jeff Sessions is a secret KKK racist. And here he is sitting there with obviously someone who is not 100% white, and is on his lap, and he's cuddling her and he's loving her. This is the same type of thing that they did to Romney, because, Romney has a black grandchild, right? And they went after him for that. They're such hypocrites. They are the racists. As I said, they look in the mirror, they see their own ugliness, and then they turn it around and they point at conservatives and say, they're the racist, they're the racist. It's this guy who's tweeting it. He's a racist. He's the one that looks at the little girl and sees an Asian as opposed to a granddaughter, and he's holding his child, and that he's a good man. No, they don't. That doesn't fit their ideology. That doesn't fit their spin. It doesn't fit their fake news. And so they've got to go trash him. And they said, yeah, you got to go return her to Toys R Us because we don't know where you got him. I mean, that is so insulting. It's outrageous. And yet, will most Asian Americans even hear about that? Probably not, because, the media is not going to bother to report on the racism within its own, ranks. It's just sick. So they have been exposed. Trump has been brilliant at exposing the media, and they are now unhinged. They don't know what to do. I mean, we should really start. We got to start doing this at the next show. We have to start going through Occupy Democrats and Think Progress and their websites and just reading to you just the report from the fever swamp. We need to have that the next one. The report from the fever swamp. These people are losing their minds. They really, truly are. Whether they believe it or not, and some of them probably do. They think that conservatives and Trump and GOP, that the bad guys, in other words, that we're literally going to show up with chains and slap manacles around people's necks and wrists and drag them off to a gulag. I mean, Rachel Maddow is saying that she's going to be sent to a concentration camp. This is how wacky tunes these people are. They really believe this. They are in the fever swamp. They really believe this is going to happen. And they keep spewing this hate and spewing it just because they want to get people riled up and upset.
Did you see Senator Scott's tweet today? Senator Scott today won Twitter for the entire year of 2017. It's over. Nobody else is going to win. Some dumb account said that Senator Scott, and I will paraphrase again here, Senator Scott was a quote-unquote House nigga. And all he did, wait, you're going to laugh your butt off. All he did was quote it and say, Senate.
You're kidding.
No.
Oh, man. Oh, gee.
How perfect is that?
Burr!
This account that said that no longer exists, by the way. As soon as he did that, it got attacked by 20,000 Twitter
The Twitterista?
accounts.
Twitterista.
Yeah. But how
Twitterista.
brilliant is his tweet when she said House N-word and he said Senate. That's one word.
Yeah, I know.
Senate. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. But that's how the left thinks now. That's how they think.
That's how. No, it's not how they think now. It's how they always have thought.
You're right.
They're in a war for our minds. They're still mad that Lincoln freed the slaves. You don't understand. They really are. Because look, slavery. They really secretly in their dark little hearts they want slavery but they don't want just black slavery. They want white slavery too. They want all of us enslaved to the government. They want one government ruling us all, like one ring to control them all. That's what they want. They want government, and it's fascism. They want to control your business. They want to control the education you can get. That's why they shackle you with massive amounts of debt when you're going through college, if you're silly enough to do that. They want to own you your whole life. They want to control the food you eat. That's the FDA. They're not the FDA and the drugs that you can take. You're not even allowed under the current healthcare system. You can't try new remedies and cures for cancer because it hasn't been FDA approved. Well, how about, and there is a new proposal coming up that hopefully will be replacing Obamacare. I know Trump said at his presser, we're going to replace Obamacare. We're going to repeal it and replace it. I'm really glad about the repeal. I'm a little nervous about the replace because I don't really want much more government. But one of I think it's is Representative Bratt. I'm sorry, it's Representative Bratt, B-R-A-T, just like the kid who's throwing a fit. Representative Bratt has advanced a bill that would expand the health savings accounts, which would put everyone in charge of his or her own money to pay for health care and new cures, so that I don't have to go and ask my insurance company, can I see my doctor now, or can I change doctors? No, I'll just have the money and I'll go pick whatever doctor I want. And if I want to fly to Canada to get, really crazy laser cancer surgery, whatever, anything that I want, I can go pay for it. And I'll have the money to do that, and it'll be under my control. That's what health savings accounts are. They're basically vouchers for healthcare, and so that would be a way to get get out of Obamacare, because Obamacare is going to kill us if we don't repeal it. It is the ultimate dream of the fascists, which is to absolutely control life. 1/6 of the economy, every doctor and every patient is controlled in some way or another by Obamacare. That's why it's absolutely critical that the Senate send a bill up there, the House and Senate together send the bill, and Trump repeal that as soon as possible. But on a more fun note, let's talk about, I know, Dan, this is going to be your very favorite topic. And as an actress, I'm loving this because I used to be an actor. I guess maybe I still am. I don't know what you want to call me. But Meryl Streep at the Golden Globe. Here she is. She's getting a Lifetime Achievement Award. This is all the other actors who are just saying, you are just the best, Meryl. And what does she do, this arrogant woman? She goes up there and she decides to go on a political rant. Instead of just thanking her colleagues, instead of being humble and saying, thank you very much for this achievement award. Accepting
her award. Just accept it. There are people out there that are saying, you're great. Just accept it. Instead, she goes on a complete and total political tirade, and
but there was one
basically
this year that stunned me.
Here we go.
It sank its hooks in my heart. Not because it was good. There was nothing good about it. But it was effective and it did its job. It made its intended audience laugh and show their teeth. It was that moment when the person asking to sit in the most respected seat in our country, imitated a disabled reporter, someone he outranked in privilege, power, and the capacity to fight back.
Yes. And now, I will preface what I'm about to say by saying that I was not happy with Mr. Trump when he did that. I was not happy at all.
Oh yeah, I know.
Now,
He's a jerk, and he's done it to a lot of other people. He waves his arm and he goes, yeah, 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 yeah. He does the mocking bit. I know what he's doing. It is punching the media in the mouth, but it isn't pretty, and nobody likes it. But it was very effective. I don't believe that he was singling out this journalist because of his disability. I think he was singling him out because of what he said, the content, not the handicap. I don't believe that. But in any way,
I can agree with you on that. But I will start with, did she call Obama out when he mocked the Special Olympics? No, she didn't.
Amen.
She did not. Now,
because he was Obama, and it's okay to mock the Special Olympics if you're Obama and you're on the left.
Right. And now, the left on Monday morning, it was all about how Meryl Streep is a hero. She is a hero for calling Donald Trump out. And you know what that drowned out? That drowned out the fact that a murderer shot a cop and killed her, and another cop got killed looking for him, who are the real heroes, and the news just covered Meryl Streep, the hero. I'm sick of this crap. There are real heroes in this world, and Meryl Streep standing in front of a bunch of her peers who 120,000 bazillion% agree with her, saying what she said is not heroic, it's cowardly, and she needs to go away. They all need to go away.
Yes, they do. But you remember, they all promised they were going to move. Rosie O'Donnell and they were all going to move as soon as Trump became president. The plane is waiting. The bus is ready. I'll help pack your bags. I'll come to your house, Meryl and Rosie and all y'all. Yeah, I'll come. Pack you up. Bye-bye. Go to Canada. Go to Mexico. Go anywhere you want. Bye-bye.
Has our 9 days left leader said one thing about the two black police officers that were killed? One killed because she confronted the man because she was pretty sure he had a murder warrant out for him. She confronted him, and he pulled his gun and shot and killed her. Has he said one word? Has he said one word? I guess black lives only matter. Black lives only matter if they're a criminal. They don't matter if they're a cop. These are heroes. She approached somebody she was pretty sure was, and she's just a patrol officer.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem for Obama. She was enforcing the law. He doesn't like the law. He has been trying to undermine the law called the Constitution in our country for 8 years. He's been trying to transform America away from our laws. He doesn't even like that the states have more power than the federal government. So anyone who is enforcing the law is not important to him. I don't even think he knows about her at all because, he's been too busy preparing his farewell address. He doesn't care about the regular American men and women who are on the front lines enforcing the law, putting their lives on the line to protect the rest of us from people like, the radical Islamic terrorists, Black Lives Matter looters, whoever they are out there who are actively trying to kill and maim. He doesn't care about that. That's just more, as Rahm Emanuel had said, that's another crisis that we don't want to let go to waste. That's just agitation. That helps these activists who want political agitation. That's all that they really want.
No, they're not activists. They're not activists. They're grave dancers. They are grave dancers. That's what they are. That's what they want. President, how many? Go ahead.
But you know what? I think on that happy note, I think we need one more little dance to say bye-bye to Barack Obama. I need to hear na 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 again. Na na na.
I agree. I agree.
Hey, 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 goodbye. Let's hear it again for President Obama. Bye-bye. Oh, bye-bye. Let's hear it.
It is over. Na 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 na